Welcome to another episode of Retrobacks, where I take a look at some classic games often considered retro, or at least one or two console generations older than the present one, and assess if it held up and is still good enough to play in this day and age. I will review the game based on its graphics, sound, and fun factor, the latter of which is affected by gameplay, controls, and overall appeal of the game using a rating scale of 1 to 10, where 10 being the absolute best for its generation, while 5 is mediocre, or in the language of kids nowadays,
Amen.
and anything below that is pretty much garbage. At the end, I will also give an overall score, which is the aggregate of the other ratings.
For the past 3 weeks, I've been playing Star Fox, its remakes except for Zero, which deserved its own separate analysis, and a little bit of Star Fox 2. So I have a pretty good grasp on the mainline franchise to form a valid opinion in this review. So let's get right into it. For those who are not aware what Star Fox is, it is a rail shooter game in a third-person and first-person 3D perspective. The player must navigate Fox's spacecraft on R-Wing through environments while various enemies attack you. At the end of each level, there is a boss that the player must defeat before progressing to the next level. The player receives a score at the end of each level based on how many enemies have been destroyed and how well the player has defended their teammates. Synopsis. In this particular story, the setting is in a fictional solar system called the Lilat system, which is inhabited by anthropomorphic animal species such as foxes, frogs, birds, rabbits, and apes. It contains the planets Corneria and Venom, representing good and evil, respectively. All 4 games I've played share the same plot. Someone evil named Andros, an anthropomorphic ape scientist, threatens the peace of the galaxy, and a team of heroes, namely Fox McCloud and his Star Fox crew, were dispatched to save the day. I will forego the usual breakdown of graphics, gameplay, etc. for this review since we have a lot to cover. Let's begin with the first Star Fox game from the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. No way to sugarcoat this, but the original 1993 Star Fox graphics was rough. I know it was a monumental achievement back then for a 16-bit console, much like the VR racing on Sega Genesis, but there is no way around it. It's just plain ugly and unappealing. It's hard to differentiate an enemy aircraft from your comrades because everything on screen are just plain geometric figures. I didn't play this or the sequel Star Fox 2 beyond the first 2 levels, mainly because of the graphics itself. Did I mention the stuttering and slowdowns? The FPS dropped to sub-20 frames at certain points. Hence, for me, these 2 games are nigh unplayable in this day and age. Controls is kinda okay with the D-pad, but really, these types of flying shooters are at home on analog stick control. Was it fun to play the 2 games? Not really, no. 3 out of 10. They are not worth recommending to newer gamers who haven't played them in the past, and even not worth going back to for old school gamers because of the awesome remake that followed it. Star Fox 64. Widely touted as the best remake of the original Star Fox, and I can see why. The game is at home on the N64, and in my opinion, should have been released initially here instead of the SNES. 3D graphics now look superb even after all these years. Controls are perfect, can't find any fault whatsoever. Audio is now complete with the voiceovers, something the original game lacked, giving personality to Fox, his comrades, and his antagonists. Who could ever forget Star Wolf and that legendary line he gives out when he first appears that is even comparable to that "No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die" line in 007's Goldfinger.
Can't let you do that, Star Fox.
2022, and this was the first time I played this game on the Wii U Virtual Console, which means I can and did customize the controller layout to suit my style, and man did I enjoy it. This game stood the test of time and is a classic. 9 out of 10, would have been perfect if I didn't get a taste of its remaster on the 3DS. Which brings us to the last game in this review, Star Fox 64 3D. This game is a beat-for-beat remake of the N64 classic with improved visuals and, in my opinion, controls. The additional gyro, by the way, help in pinpoint accuracy while shooting, while the 3D effect is out of this world, one of the best implementation of this feature in the 3DS's history. In my opinion, even tops that of Super Mario 3D Land. I know it cannot be seen from these screen captures, but if you own a 3DS and haven't played this game yet, I'm telling you to go get it now while you still can from the eShop before it closes down, or if you can hunt down a physical copy like what I did. I ordered this from overseas because I can't find it anymore in my country. So again, this game is all that from the N64 plus more. So it's a no-brainer, 10 out of 10. I highly recommend it, and the definitive way to play the original Star Fox story. Alright, on the next Retrobacks episode, I'm changing the format of Retrobacks, by the way, so I will only review games that have very few, maybe 5 or less reviews on YouTube. That way I save time from producing, directing, writing, and editing review videos for already popular games like the next game on my list, and get more to actual gaming. So the next Retrobacks, watch me play Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time 3D.
Don't forget to subscribe!